Thank you so much for your shoe. Might I recommend moving to Tennessee? It's the best state in the union. Tennessee? I don't know. The issue is I'm not white. And because of that, when I go to some places, I really feel like a fish out of water. And I think it's something you won't understand unless you know how it is. It's not something you can explain to people who haven't been through it or like have the perspective. You feel like a foreigner. People will treat you like a foreigner. And it's in very like subtle ways you don't even notice. And I never really noticed how... I didn't even notice it until I went somewhere where I looked like everyone else. And then it was like, oh, you know. And it's better in California because there's like a lot of Asians here. But I think it would be tough moving elsewhere. You get a pretty big wave of tourists. That's the thing. They're tourists, right? The assumption is that they're tourists. As a white person, that's how I feel in California. Yeah. You guys know what I'm talking about, right? Like it's like if you were a white person and you decide to move to Richmond, Vancouver. You'd feel like a fish out of water real fast. I promise you. Shots fired. Is Richmond Asian? Richmond, Vancouver? You literally don't need to know how to speak English to live there. Like if you only know Chinese, you'll literally be okay if you lived in Richmond, Vancouver. It's just China. But they have the best Chinese food like in the world. It's like the Chinese food in Richmond and Vancouver is better than Chinese food in China. Yeah, it's better than the Chinese food in China. I get to experience fish out of water every time I'm on foot in a major city. But it's not based on how you look. It's based on your value. People don't assume I'm from here. Even though I've lived a majority of my life, you know, people assume you're other, you're from somewhere else, you're not from this country, that you don't have citizenship, that you're just visiting. I don't understand that in America. I've always it's not the fact that there's discrimination or whatnot. Like I'm not talking to that, but I do feel like treated like a foreigner in many aspects. Like it's not like the things, it's like in the feelings that you can't put words to, like how people talk to you or the assumptions about you or stuff like that. Like it's not even like being out of place, because obviously if you've lived in the US long enough, like you know where you belong. It's not like a very overt feeling, and if you don't go anywhere else, you'll never notice it. Like it's so subtle, but once you stay long enough somewhere where you truly just look like everyone else or like is like everyone else, and people just assume you're like a part of the majority, it's different. It's completely different. Like it's more different than I thought it would be. As a white dude who has lived for years in Africa and Asia, I can't say I understand your perspective. Yes, people always have assumptions of you, and they are often wrong with those. It's not the same as that though. Like I guess it's different, because when you go somewhere and you just realize you have the understanding that you're an outsider, right? If you move to another country and you realize, oh, you don't look like everyone else, right? But for me, I was born into it. So this is all I knew for a long time, right? Like being Asian American, that's just like what it was, you know? I didn't know what it was like any other way. You know what I mean? That's what I knew. I didn't think it was uniquely weird or different, or I didn't think there was anything. In fact, you don't feel limited by it. That's just your life. I was born in Canada, same thing, right? So you were just kind of in it. But then after you go somewhere where you do look like everyone else, and you do like everybody's like, you're considered the majority, there's a difference in the way that you realize you're seen in your home place where you think you are familiar with, versus this place that you've gone and you've never been before, but then all of a sudden it's like a different feeling of how people see you, right? So it's like jarring. Or like, okay, I feel like all of a sudden I belong more in one place just by like being there than I was in the place that I was born. And it's really weird because even if you don't speak the language, if you look like everyone else, you get treated completely different. Right? I don't know how to describe it. I don't know how to describe it. It's not like I'm being oppressed or whatnot. I'm not talking anything like that. It's just a very unique experience to have that perspective, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. Yeah. If you go to, let's say, if I'm Chinese, I was born in China, I was born into that, and then I decide to uproot myself and go to America, where, you know, coming from the viewpoint of someone who did that, it's less weird because you're expecting to be treated different, right? You're like expecting for people to have questions, if that makes sense. Like, but when you're born somewhere, when you're born in America and you look like not like the majority, and then you go somewhere, you go back to China, it feels weird. It feels really weird. Yeah. Yeah. I felt exactly that when I lived in Cali, kind of like Whiplash. Yeah. And sometimes you belong in neither place, like, cause they can smell the American on you, in that way. But I have this unique thing where I just look like I was back in my day, we would call it fresh off the boat, where I just look like I just came from overseas. There's something about me. There's an air I give off and the way that I am that after all these years, I can't shake. People just assume that I'm not from around here, right? Yeah. And so, like, even with my clothes, like, people will be like, it's so cute, your clothes are so nice, where do you get them? Like, do you get all your clothes from Asia? You have a very Asia style. And I'm like, bitch, I'm wearing like Brandy Melville, which is like the whitest girl clothing brand ever. I'm like, oh, it's Brandy Melville and like Hollister. Like, I'm shopping everywhere you shop. This is Abercrombie and Fitch. Like, you know, like, you know, I don't think it's the clothes, guys. I think it's me. I think it's me, chat. I don't think it's the clothes. Yeah. I don't think it's the clothes. I think it's me. I have a very Asian aura. Nobody guesses Chinese, too. Like, nobody guesses that I'm Chinese. Literally nobody guesses that I'm Chinese. Even Chinese people can't guess that I'm Chinese. It's crazy. So, like, here's top guesses. Top guesses are from most to least, right? Top 4 is Korean, Japanese, Mexican, and then Chinese. I wish I was joking. And this is like, I don't really know why. I don't really know why. Real. No. Okay. So before, right? I was they thought I was like some sort of Latina, but like I was cosplaying and I was just like out there, my boots came undone because they were like lace-up boots. And so I was like out there sitting trying to lace up my boots. And this guy approaches me, right? This older man. And he's like, "Oh, you're so beautiful." And I'm like, "Oh, thank you." And he's like, "Are you a Latina? Cause you look like a Latina." And I'm like, "What?" I'm like, "What?" What? He's like, "Also, senorita." And he's like older Asian man, like older. And also, "Can I tie up your boots for you?" And I was like, "No, thank you." Yeah, I was like, "What?" Yeah. I must have been like 17 at the time. It was weird.